The spacious living room of the Ivanov family home buzzed with warmth and noise. A long wooden table, draped in a crisp white tablecloth, groaned under the weight of dishes. Cabbage pies, meatloaf, creamy salads, and Grandma Vera's signature dried fruit compote. Light from the crystal chandelier glinted off wine glasses, and the aroma of roasted chicken mingled with the scent of fresh roses Aunt Masha had placed as a centerpiece. The family had gathered for their annual reunion, a cherished tradition across generations of Ivanovs. Today, they also celebrated Grandpa Sergei's 50th birthday, the stern but fair patriarch, as relatives often described him. Anna, Grandpa Sergei's youngest granddaughter, sat at the table's corner, fidgeting with the hem of her gray sweater. At 25, she always felt out of place at these gatherings. Her dark hair was tied in a messy bun, and her eyes darted across the faces of her relatives, trying to follow their chatter. Anna disliked noisy get-togethers, but came for Grandpa. He'd always been kind to her, unlike the others. "So, Annie," Aunt Masha began, adjusting her heavy earrings, "you still working at that, what's it called, gallery? Or have you found something more serious yet?" Anna tensed. She knew that tone, sweet but laced with a jab. Aunt Masha always thought Anna's job at a small art gallery was frivolous, almost shameful for a family of doctors, engineers, or at the very least, teachers. "Yeah, Aunt Masha, still there," Anna replied, forcing a smile. "I love it. We just held a modern art exhibit, got a lot of visitors." "Modern art?" Aunt Masha scoffed, exchanging a glance with Uncle Kolya. "That's where they splash paint on a canvas and demand millions for it? I saw that kind of stuff in my neighbor's garage. He gives it away free." Laughter erupted around the table. Anna felt her cheeks burn. She wanted to retort, but Grandma Vera, seated at the head beside Grandpa, cut in. "Oh, Masha, leave her be. Let the girl do what she enjoys. Not everyone's meant to stick needles in people like you." Aunt Masha rolled her eyes but fell silent. Anna shot Grandma a grateful look. Vera always defended her, even if she didn't quite get why Anna spent her days with those pictures. Grandpa Sergei, quiet until now, cleared his throat and fixed his gaze on Anna. "The important thing, Anna, is that your work brings value, not just to you, but to the family. We're Ivanovs. We have a reputation," he said, his voice heavy, as if he already knew Anna wouldn't measure up. Anna nodded, but her stomach nodded. She knew Grandpa was proud of the family's achievements, their reputation. Her older brother Maxim, across the table, was already a chief engineer at a major factory. His wife, Katya, was a pediatrician. Even their cousin Vanya, barely 10, won math Olympiads. And Anna? She designed posters for the gallery and dreamed of her own exhibition one day. To the family, that was not enough. The conversation shifted. Uncle Kolya bragged about his new car, Aunt Masha complained about neighbors, and Grandma Vera reminisced about baking pies for her village in her youth. Anna stayed quiet, sipping compote and trying to blend in. She wanted to leave but knew it would upset Grandpa, so she stayed. Trouble came unexpectedly. As the main course arrived, Maxim turned to her and said, "Anna, you heard what folks in town are saying about you? I was with colleagues last week and one mentioned your gallery. Said some weird people hang out there. Artists, you know, not exactly normal." Anna froze. She knew what Maxim meant. Her gallery attracted not just art lovers, but local nonconformists. Painters, poets, musicians. They were vibrant, eccentric, sometimes odd. "So what?" she said, her voice tight. "It's not a crime. They're creative people, Maxim. You know I'm like that too." "I know," Maxim snapped, his tone sharp. "That's why I'm asking. I don't want our name tied to that crowd. You get how that's a disgrace to us? To the family?" Anna's face flushed. She wanted to shout that her friends weren't a crowd, but talented people. But the words stuck in her throat. The table fell silent, all eyes on her. Even Grandma Vera, usually kind, looked away, as if agreeing with Maxim. "Disgrace?" Anna managed, her voice shaking. "This is my life, Maxim. my job, my friends. I'm not forcing you to hang out with them." "Enough, Anna," Grandpa Sergey cut in, his voice like a hammer. "Maxim's right. We raised you to put family first. But you're shaming us with your antics. Those exhibitions, those people, that's not our way." Anna stood, her hands trembling. She wanted to scream that it was unfair, that she deserved her own life. But instead she mumbled, "Sorry, I need to go." She grabbed her bag and bolted from the house, not looking back. Behind her, voices rose. Aunt Masha muttered about youth disrespecting tradition, and Grandpa Sergey coughed loudly, as if closing the matter. Anna knew she hadn't just been kicked out of the party. She'd been erased from the family. Anna sat on a park bench near Grandpa's house. Night had fallen, and streetlights cast long shadows on the pavement. A chilly breeze cut through her sweater, but her shivers came from within. Anger and hurt churned inside her. Grandpa Sergey's words echoed in her mind. "You're shaming us." Anna never imagined her life, her choices, could wound her family so deeply. She worked hard, followed her dreams, but to them, it didn't matter. To them, she was a flaw, a stain on their perfect reputation. "Why can't they just accept me?" she muttered, staring at the stars. She pulled out her phone, tempted to call a friend, but hesitated. Her gallery friends, the ones Maxim called that crowd, always had her back. But now, she didn't want to burden them. She needed to sort herself out. Anna thought back to how it all started. In school, she'd loved drawing, spending hours with her sketchbook, crafting worlds that didn't exist. Teachers praised her, but at home, her art was dismissed as a childish hobby. "That's not a career," Aunt Masha would say. "Find something real," Uncle Kolya echoed. Only Grandma Vera sometimes patted her head and said, "Draw, Annie, if it makes your heart happy." But even Vera didn't grasp that art wasn't just a pastime for Anna. It was how she breathed. She stood and paced the path, her steps quick, almost a run. She had to move to keep from crying. Snippets of the party's conversation swirled in her head. Aunt Masha's jabs. Maxim, always the perfect son. Grandpa Sergey, whose word was law. Anna loved them all, but now she felt they'd never loved the real her. They loved the Anna they wanted, obedient, successful, proper. "I'm not a disgrace," she whispered, pausing by an old oak. "I'm just me." She recalled Grandpa Sergey once sharing stories of his childhood, working from age 15 to support his family. He was proud of it, and Anna respected him for it. But why couldn't he respect her choices? Her gallery brought joy to people. Her posters drew hundreds of visitors. Wasn't that worth something? Anna pulled a notebook and pencil from her bag. She always carried them for sudden bursts of inspiration. Now, on that cold bench, she began to draw. Lines formed the shape of Grandpa's house, but instead of warm light from the windows, there was darkness. She sketched herself, a small figure walking away. It wasn't just a drawing. It was her pain poured onto paper. "They're wrong," she said to herself, her voice trembling. "I'm not a disgrace. I'm different." But Grandpa's words still stung. Anna knew her family wouldn't accept her unless she became what they wanted. And she couldn't. She wouldn't. Her life was in the gallery, in colors, in people who understood her. But how do you live when your family sees you as a failure? She got home late, to her tiny apartment where walls were covered in her sketches. Here she felt like herself. But even here, Grandpa's words haunted her. Anna lay down but couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, imagining calling Grandma Vera tomorrow, trying to explain. Deep down, she knew it wouldn't change a thing. Anna woke the next morning with a heavy head. The night had been restless, thoughts of the fight keeping her awake. She got up, brewed coffee, and sat at her table, staring at her notebook. The drawing from last night lay open. Dark house, lonely figure. Anna grabbed her pencil and added stars above the figure, bright and twinkling. It was her vision. Even in darkness, you can find light. "I'm not a disgrace," she said loudly, as if convincing herself. "I'm Anna, and that's enough." She decided not to call Grandma Vera. Not today. She needed time to figure out how to move forward. Anna dressed, grabbed her bag, and headed to the gallery. There, among canvases and the smell of paint, she felt at home. Her colleague, Theo, a guy with green hair and a dragon tattoo on his arm, greeted her with a grin. "Anna, why so gloomy?" he asked, handing her a coffee. "Family giving you a hard time again?" Anna nodded, sparing him the details. Theo didn't press. He knew what it was like to be misunderstood. Instead, he showed her a sketch for their next exhibit. "Look, I was thinking we could do an installation, something about freedom, about being yourself, no matter what. What do you think?" Anna studied the sketch. Vivid colors, figures breaking chains. Her heart stirred. It was exactly what she felt. "I love it," she said, nodding. They dove into planning, and for the first time that day, Anna smiled. Here, she was understood. Here, she wasn't a disgrace. She was part of something bigger. Days passed, and Anna threw herself into the gallery. She worked on the new exhibit, pouring her pain and hope into it. Her drawings grew bolder, her colors brighter. She painted a family, but not the one that rejected her, a new one. Friends who accepted her as she was. One evening, a month after the fight, Anna got a text from Grandma Vera. "Annie, we're sorry. Grandpa Sergey's hurting, but he doesn't know how to say it. Come back, let's talk." Anna stared at the screen. She wanted to forgive, to return, but something inside told her she'd already found her way. "I'll come, Grandma," she replied, "but I'm staying me." The exhibit was a success. The gallery brimmed with people, and Anna felt her work mattered. She stood among her paintings, listening to visitors discuss them, praising her courage. Theo approached and hugged her. "You did it, Anna. You're not just an artist, you're a light." Anna smiled. She knew her family might never fully understand her, but she also knew she'd found her own family. In the gallery, in art, in people who saw her not as a disgrace, but as a talent. And that was enough.